Our nervous system is the governing place of our experience. We have thousands of neuroreceptors that are picking up lots of information all of the time and sending them up to the brain for integrated processing and then back through the body. Ultimately, the nervous system is trying to get a sense of our experience of safety or threat, and if there's a felt sense of threat, trying to equalize that so that we can feel safe again. What happens in the case of trauma is that our nervous systems aren't able to equalize the sense of threat. And so we enter survival mode. And there are signals that are sent all through the nervous system that are saying, danger, 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 I am not safe, something bad is happening. Now, in the case of unresolved trauma or just prolonged trauma, what happens is that it becomes the new normal. So our nervous system is living and perceiving from a state of threat all of the time. And actually this recalibration or miscalibration is one of the things that has caused us to create these lives that are really not sustainable and really don't feel good, because we're just experiencing and reacting to threat all of the time. So nervous system healing is a huge piece of the puzzle in terms of finding a greater sense of internal peace and relational harmony. And before we can even begin to do that, we need to learn to self-attune to our nervous system, to connect in, to understand, am I experiencing a sense of threat? Where am I holding onto the charge in the body? So one of the things that happens when we are experiencing from threat is that the body will brace. It's a threat, a protective response, and we tend to have these brace patterns in various parts of our body. So in today's exercise, we're going to learn to tune into our nervous system, to sense and feel the kind of threat response we may be having, to orient to the places in the body where we're holding on to charge, and to see if it feels safe to begin to let some of that charge or threat energy go. Now, to really get the best out of this practice, it's really important to read the chapter in the book all about the nervous system so that you can really start to understand what a fight-flight response feels like, what a freeze or shutdown response feels like, and also what a co-activation response feels like, which is both of those other two threat responses either happening concurrently or intermittently. So do take time to read this so that you're really equipped to get the most out of this practice. What we're going to do in a moment is to lie down and tune into the nervous system, see how our nervous system is experiencing, and then see if we're able to connect to an area of the body where we're holding that charge, that threat energy, and invite it to let go. Now, some of the things that you might experience during this practice is to all of a sudden become acutely aware of tension or pain in the body. So if that does happen, see if it feels safe to stay with it, but if it doesn't, you can simply orient your awareness away from it, and if needed, come out of the exercise. Something else you may experience is if you're able to connect to that energy and you're able to invite that release, you might experience some twitching or shaking or even emotional release. And again, check in and see, does it feel safe to allow this to happen? What's actually happening is that your body is coming out of threat, out of survival mode. But when this work is relatively new to us, it can feel like too much and actually trigger another survival response. So just tune into what feels safe and containable for you. So let's explore. So come into a comfortable position on your back. And you can either have your hands by your side or you can have them on your body or just at your side here. It's really up to you on what feels just natural and comfortable. And just close your eyes and see what it's like just to settle. Can you allow your body to kind of yield a little into the ground or the sofa or wherever it is that you're lying? And see what it's like to tune into your nervous system. And if you are a visual processor, you might like to imagine that there is almost golden tree roots going down through your head, through your whole body. So if you're a visual person, see what it's like to connect to that, this beautiful tree-like, spindle-like system inside you. And tune into your nervous system and what its resting state may be, or its state right now may be. Are you experiencing a sense of safety and peace and equilibrium? Or are you experiencing more of a fight or flight response, that more anxious energy, that rushed energy? Or are you experiencing more of a shutdown or a freeze response, the lack of movement, the absence of aliveness? Or is it a combination? What is true for you? What does your intuition, your body tell you? And now just bringing your awareness to connect to some of the areas of charge or bracing in the body. And just seeing if it feels safe to find one. For me, I'm connecting to my hip. And if you want, you can bring your hand there like I naturally did if it feels accessible, or simply your attention and your energy. And see what it's like to let your body know that it's safe now, that it's okay to let go. And there's an affirmation that we can use from the book. It says, "It's safe to let go of tension. I welcome peace in my nervous system and space in my body." So just see what it's like to connect to that affirmation and that area of your body. And you can see, for me, there's a lot of twitches that come as I let go of threat and I welcome the peace and I welcome the space. And if you have had an experience where there's this sense of release, it's really important to take some time to integrate the new spaces and changes that emerge as a result of the release. So integration is so important. And if you've had a big release, which may be possible, really take some time to just curl up. You may like to come over onto your side and really just lay there until the body is feeling really settled and still. Again, really give yourself time. I can't stress enough how much integration matters.